friends. Welcome to Flosstube and Variety Show number 136. Today is Friday, November 22nd, 2024, and my name is Emily Williams, and I live in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. So as you can see, it's late afternoon here. It's not quite as late as I made the video last week, but it's later than usual because my husband and I have been at another couple's house, friends of ours, playing the game 42, which is a game played with a set of double six dominoes. It's a partnership trick-taking game. It's kind of an odd game. As Sue, our friend, said, it's hard to teach, it's hard to explain, but once you get onto it, you can really get onto it. And I feel as if we've been playing it with them for several years, 6 years. I'm not sure I'm onto it, but today I felt pretty smart. Anyway, that's where we've been. That's why this is later than usual. Thank you for joining me today. Thanks for coming back if you're returning. And I'm sorry about the camera shaking. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. It's, I think, set up the way it usually is, so I'll try to not touch the table. Anyway, thank you for coming by. Flosstube means cross stitch, and variety show means something else. Now, I have been busy this week. It's been a sort of a week of things getting turned upside down, like today, all day long being gone. Monday, we ended up spending the whole day putting together our new adjustable bed that we bought at the state fair. Yeah, long story. Feel free to laugh about that. And another day, I ended up having the whole day full of other things. So I haven't really done as much cross stitch as usual, but that is what Flosstube is about. And variety show is about something else, which I promise you will not be just about me nattering on about not getting much cross stitching done. But we'll see. I'll leave that up to you to judge. So first I will show you by Plum Street Samplers Stars, which, as you may know, you may remember from my videos or other people, many other people. This is a pair. This goes along with something by Shakespeare's Peddler, another companion chart, which is called And Stripes, and the and is an ampersand. And so I thought I would try to do this for before July 4th, 2026, which is the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And I spent 2 evenings on this, and really, it seems as if I got almost nothing else done. But I am carrying on down the word stars there. And I did change the, so this is, I think, White Clay by Fox and Rabbit, 36 count, I believe. And I did change the thread from the called for Ecru to 3866, I think it is, or 3865. And it shows up better in the camera. It shows up okay, actually. While I'm working on it, under my bright light, it does not show up very well. But it does in real life. And of course, what's the word? Silhouette of the letters shows up well. So that's where I am on stars. I'm doing this, as I said, 1/2 on 36 count, White Clay by Fox and Rabbit, and I have, mostly I'm going to be using the called for overdyes. There are a few other threads, and you know, I'm going to pause this and try to figure out why it's shaking so much, so I'll be right back for you. Well, I'm back. I'm not really sure. I'm still not sure why, so I'm just going to try to be very careful. So I'm also going to show you, I have not shown this to you in quite a while. This is Under the Roof of Blue Ionian Weather, charted by Golden Kite. Golden Kite does a lot of art reproductions. And this is a 19th century painting. And Under the Roof of Blue Ionian Weather. Now I decided I would do a little bit of research, and so Ionia, so let me try to get this in the frame a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. Is the section of Greece that was actually over on the coast of Turkey. And in the 19th century, I mean, this is obviously earlier than 19th century in its setting, but the idea is the dress is sort of 19th century, I suppose. Probably not. I don't know. I'm probably saying nonsense. But anyway, there's a story behind this, which when I get close to finishing it, which I hope will be next year, I'll tell you more of the story behind why I'm interested in this. And I have mentioned it before, but so I'm working over here. I'm about to, so I've just started this archway is beginning to show. This little section down here is beginning to show, and soon I'll be with these people and this little area. And I have, believe it or not, and if you look back, I think in maybe early October or late September is the last time I showed this. I've been working in this section, and you cannot tell. I know you can't, and I'm sorry. But I've done 1,000 stitches, and I have now about 21,500 stitches to go to finish out of 72,000 stitches. So I hope to finish it next year. It's going to take some dedication to do that. And I also this week have worked on Harriet Salt. See, look at the camera shake. I'm so sorry. By Hands Across the Sea. And this is a Bristol Orphanage sampler, Harriet Salt, 1866. And as I've said before, I got interested in this because of having been to the George Mueller Museum. So this is the width of it. Well, it's not. I mean, the width of it is something, goes to about here. And I've been adding letters to the alphabets, not the top row, but the second, third, fourth, and fifth rows I've added letters to. I really love that second row of letters especially. Some of those letters are very elegant. I mean, it's a big piece of fabric. It's a big sampler. When I get to the point of getting down to the bottom of it, I don't know how I'll ever show you the whole thing. I'll have to just take some pictures and stick them in there. But I'll just show you the chart is what I'll do, because that's a good picture on there, of course. So it was interesting that a few weeks ago, as you may remember, I finished 193, which was an all red sampler that's going to be, I'm going to make a pillow out of it, a cushion cover out of it. And the thing that I liked about that, it was one color and big blocks of stitching. And I don't have anything like that going. And I didn't think I was going to mind. I thought, well, I'll just carry on and, do the work on the other things and not feel the loss of that. But I actually do miss that kind of project. So I may have to think of something that I have going that I could start that is sort of more along those lines. There are certain times when that is exactly the kind of project I want to be working on, is something like that. Harriet Salt is kind of like that, but I do have to look at the chart because I have to see how each letter is formed. When I get down about, I would say 2/5 of it is alphabets. Now the alphabets go down to here, and then the rest of it is these border designs. Once I get down to the border designs, I can do more with looking at the pattern less. So that this may serve that purpose a little better by then. But anyway, so I was also surprised that I only worked on 3 different pieces. That's it. That's all the cross stitch that I worked on, which is, I'm surprised by it because though I did not stitch very long each day, I felt like I had plenty of variety in what I selected, but apparently not. So anyway, that's interesting. So let us move on to the variety show. Variety show, as you know if you've watched my videos, is something that is not related to cross stitch, almost always. And sometimes it's books, sometimes it's games, sometimes it's other things, but today it's Sudoku. Now Sudoku is one of my top interests in addition to cross stitch, quilting, knitting, reading, playing games. And Sudoku, as you know, is the sort of standard classic Sudoku is putting the digits 1 to 9 in a grid where every row, column, and box has no repeats, includes all the digits, and it has no repeats. And this is a kind of a Sudoku book that you can get at every newsstand, in drugstores, grocery stores, airports, and so on. I bought this in an airport recently because it's good for the brain, I think, to practice doing Sudoku on paper. Most of the Sudoku I do is on is in apps, and this is graded easy, medium, hard, and challenger, or no, easy, medium, and hard mainly, and then challenger are, some of them are classics and some of them are sort of special, super challenger things. These books are not that expensive. This might have been $8. It has 200, no, it was only $6. It has about 200, it has over 260 puzzles in it. And what I did when I was traveling is I said, okay, so I'm going to set my watch timer for an hour, and I'm going to see how many puzzles I can get done in an hour. I had bookmarked the easy, the medium, and the hard sections, and I did 1 easy, 1 medium, and 1 hard. And then I went back and I think I did a second easy in the hour. It was just to see how I could do, because I'm interested in the competition aspect of Sudoku. Now here's another kind of book. So that's the easy, cheap. Those are all, I'm sure, machine-generated Sudokus. This is handcrafted Sudokus. And this book happens to be 6x6 Sudokus, but this author, Akash Doulani, has put out, I think, 10 or 11 books called, in this series, World of Sudoku, where he features all kinds of different variants of Sudoku. And I have another book, which I can't find it, and I know I've mentioned it before, which is by someone else. But anyway, you can go to Amazon or to a bookstore and buy books that have handcrafted Sudokus in them. And the reason that handcrafted are better than machine crafted, which this kind of a book is because the designer, the creator of that puzzle has something in mind, and they achieve that in the course of the puzzle. Now, another thing to realize about Sudoku is that there are a lot of variants of Sudoku. The first variant that I became aware of was called Killer Sudoku, where there were cages in the grid, and the cages, had outlines with little dotted lines, and then it would give you the total of the digits that were in that cage. So that's a Killer Sudoku idea, and and so it was a mathematical way to help place digits in the grid. But there are also other mathematical things like arrow Sudoku, where there's a circle and a line, and the digits along the line sum to the digit in the circle. And there's thermo Sudoku, where from the bulb of the thermo to the tip of the thermo, the digits have to increase. and other things like that that have to do with the actual values of the digits, not just the shape of them, as you were, which is what classic Sudoku is about. And there are many, many, many other variants. And so books like this, which are handcrafted, if you are interested in a book of Sudoku, this is a type of book you can look for on Amazon. And I would look for the word handcrafted if I were you. And then finally, another way to do Sudoku is to do, well, then of course newspapers like New York Times and most newspapers have at least one Sudoku puzzle in them, in the print paper, as well as their online versions. New York Times, for example, I think they have 3 per day, an easy, a medium, and a hard. And there may be other grades of difficulty. So another way to do Sudoku is through apps. And I have not fully researched how I'm going to do this, but I think I can put an image here of my favorite app creators, which is Cracking the Cryptic. Now, Cracking the Cryptic is a YouTube channel where every day there are 2 videos, and I would say of the 14 videos per week, 13 of them are Sudoku, at least. Sometimes 14 of them are. They feature, 100% of the puzzles they feature are handcrafted by exceedingly smart and clever Sudoku creators. My own son, Scott, has been featured twice on the channel of puzzles that he created. The advantage, again, of handcrafted is there's something special about it. It's much more interesting. It is solvable logically, rather than just having to brute force, plug a number in and see what happens. And that's really the thing. But Cracking the Cryptic has the YouTube channel. If you watch those videos, you can work on the puzzle that they are demonstrating in the video. And they also have apps. And their main app recently is it's called Cracking the Cryptic. And then within that are some free puzzles, as well as puzzle packs that you can buy. So in-app purchases. And there's also Sven's Sudoku Pad, which if you enjoy doing classic Sudokus, say from the paper, but you want to use the interface in that Sven's Sudoku Pad app, then you can enter your own classic Sudokus, i.e. basic Sudokus, the ones that just have the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, column, and box. And that is a way to do that within the app. There are other apps, but unless they say handcrafted, I wouldn't bother with them, because they're not going to be as fun and as interesting as handcrafted puzzles. And also, if you are interested in supporting the creation and the creators of puzzles, then you will probably want to stick with actual handcrafted puzzles, because then the people who crafted them are receiving some sort of credit for them, financial benefit from having created it. So anyway, Sudoku. Now, one of the reasons that I'm interested in Sudoku, besides the fact that my son he got me going on this Cracking the Cryptic channel, and since I correspond, I have a friendship with those 2 men, especially with Mark Goodliff, one of the 2 presenters on that channel. But also there is the World Puzzle Federation Sudoku Grand Prix. And if you've followed my channel for a few months, you know that I participate in that every month, January through August. And I have done for 3 years. So this coming year, 2025, will be my 4th year of doing that. And there's a monthly contest, I'll say, where you can download puzzles in a a group of puzzles, which are that month's competition puzzles. You solve them as fast as you can. You enter the solution code for the ones that you've solved, and you get a score. And so my goal has been, I started out with a very modest goal of not being last in the world. And I think I maybe was barely not last in the world. Then my goal was to not be last in the United States in the second year, and I achieved that. I also wasn't last in the world, of course. This year, 2024, my goal was to score, so there are 8 months, to score 100, to average 100 points per month. I did not quite do that. I would have been 800 points. I think I scored about 770 points or something. So I nearly met that goal. There are 600 points or 660 points per month. So that's about, it's a little, 100 points out of 600 is a sixth. So what is that, about a certain percentage, some percentage? 1/6 is about 15% or so. And I felt this year that I was doing well to score 80 to 120 points per month. And when we get close to January, when that gets going again in January, I'll tell you more about that. But you can check it out yourself by going to the World Puzzle Federation, and I will put a link under the video. Now, their website is a little flaky sometimes, and then this off-season time, they do updates, so I'm not going to promise what you'll be able to get at if you go there, but you should be able to get the archives of past puzzles from the different competition years. And there are also competitions around the world, because the national puzzle federations in each country have competitions in order to select their team for the World Puzzle Championships, World Puzzle or World Sudoku Championships. So there's a lot of ways. Most of the national competitions are open to others, especially if they're online only. But of course, only the people who are from that nation are qualified to win a place on that national team. There's a lot of ways to play. And my real interest in Sudoku, my fundamental interest, besides it's fun, is that I think it's good for my mind. It gets me thinking in a certain way. And of course, I like that kind of thing. I like numbers, I like logic, that sort of thing. So I think it might be, I did pause, and I'm not really sure how long I went before, but this may be a shorter than usual video. I hope that it's not disappointing to you, that it is. This coming week is Thanksgiving week here in the United States, so I will not be making a video next Friday. But I will make a video the following Friday, I believe. I'm pretty sure. And then after that, I'm not sure. I can't promise at this point when subsequent weeks will come up. I have learned that there's a new format in YouTube called, it's a longer YouTube short, which is just a 3-minute video, and I think it's a vertical orientation. You have to use your iPhone or device directly to both record and post it, I think. I may look into that, because it's possible that if I can't do a full video, I could do a short and just show you one little thing that I'm working on. But anyway, I think that this is all that I have for now. And I hope that you found something of interest. And I hope that you will come back and watch future videos. You can also, of course, look at past videos. The next video, I will give you more detail about the Hannah Green stitch along, but you can check out my latest post, which is maybe from last week, in Instagram to find out the information about that. To see an illustration that shows more clearly what the division of Hannah Green into 14 segments is, with the idea of starting January 1st and finishing on March 1st, 2026, which is 200 years after Hannah Green finished. So that's all I have for today, and I hope that you enjoy your stitching and your Thanksgiving holiday if you celebrate Thanksgiving this coming week, and many blessings to you, friends.